The United States, it's estimated for every 1,000 children, there are about 15 cases of substantiated abuse and neglect. Missouri's rate is in line with that right now. And as April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, we're using this opportunity to continue the conversation. We're joined with Dr. Nancy Weaver. And thank you so much for being with us. She's a professor of behavioral science and health education at St. Louis University. I think we should start with the fact that this is so hard to measure. You don't know how many kids are actually being subjected to abuse. But can you talk about what we're seeing locally and why now we're really trying to push this conversation?
Sure. So child abuse and neglect is one of the leading causes of childhood mortality, delays in school, behavioral health, mental health issues. And here in St. Louis regionally, there in 2021, there were almost 17,000 reports to the child abuse hotline. We have great resources here in St. Louis, and we're learning a lot about programs and services that can really help. So it's time to really elevate that conversation.
Something you're really passionate about is that education piece, specifically with parents and the role they play. So when they're having a hard time just being a parent, what is important for the parent to know about their kid?
Right. So we find that parents who know a lot about child development really can understand their role a little better. So for instance, we know about the kid's brain and how it develops. So if a kid is misbehaving, so to speak, they're not antagonizing the parent on purpose. That's their way of communicating, you know. So we understand that kids need to regulate with an adult. They need to connect with the adult. And that regulation is really important. So the more parents kind of understand those child needs, the better they are to help their kid when they're struggling.
Okay, so a couple examples here. When a toddler is about to have a meltdown, or maybe the teenager is pushing the parents' buttons, what do parents really need to do when they're maybe about to lose it?
Yeah, we parent with our own trauma in the back of our mind. You know, there's a lot of ways that we were raised that kind of come to the surface when we're triggered by our kids, if you will. So really the important thing is to pause, take a breath, and think about what you're seeing. So validate that child's experience. I know you were really frustrated. You wanted to go to grandma's house before a nap, but we just don't have the time to do that. That validation, listening, I hear you, those things are really important. The power of the pause.
And we only have a few seconds left. I do want to ask you real quick, what's the community role in helping a parent maybe out in public struggling?
Right. We've heard from so many adults who were abused as kids. They say if only one person would have said something or noticed or offered some support, it would have made a huge difference. So we have a program called Support Over Silence for Kids, and that's what we train bystanders to do, how to help and support in a non-judgmental, empathetic way, because it really takes a community of people providing that support when parenting is hard.
Wonderful. And we do have some of those resources on your screen, supportoversilence.com, also familyforwardmo.org. Dr. Weaver, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For your
Thanks
time.
for having me.
We'll be sure to also have this information for you on our website, KMOV.com, and of course, the KMOV News app.